Hi, so today's lesson will be on parallel lines. So we'll be learning what parallel lines are as well as how to draw them. So before we start on parallel lines, let's recall. The previous type of lines that we learned were perpendicular lines. Do you remember what perpendicular lines are? So perpendicular lines come as a pair, which means that there needs to be two lines. And perpendicular lines are lines that meet at a right angle. So if you remember, this symbol represents a right angle. How do we check if it's a right angle? We can use our set square. And the lines should be at the sides of the set square. This is how we check that these lines are perpendicular. Now, what are parallel lines? So what I have here are a pair of parallel lines. Okay? Parallel lines are lines that will never meet. So they are the opposite of perpendicular lines because they will never meet. So it's not just in the picture that they will never meet. If I extend them, so for example, I continue the line this way and this way, as well as for this line, I continue this way and this way. The lines will never meet. Even outside of the paper, they will never meet. Okay? So, how do I draw a parallel line? So, if I have a line, so let me just use my set square to draw a line. Okay, so if I have a line here, and I want to draw another line that is parallel to this line, how do I do it? Okay, for this, I will need two set squares. If in the event that you really don't have two set squares, you can use one set square and a ruler, but using two set squares will be better. Okay, so you can also use one set square and a ruler or two set squares. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a set square and I will put it along the line. Okay, make sure that you either choose one of the lines that are perpendicular to each other. So we will either choose this side or this side. Both will work. Do not choose this longest side. Okay, the longest side won't work for this. So you will choose one of the sides that are perpendicular to each other. So I can choose this side or I can choose this side, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's say I want to choose this way. Okay, so I will make sure that my line is on the side of the set square. Then I would take another set square and put it at the other side that's perpendicular to it. Okay, so here is my line. I will place the set square at the perpendicular side. And if I want to draw a parallel line, I need to make sure I hold this set square tightly. It cannot move, because once it moves, my line won't be accurate anymore. So I'll hold this tightly, and with my other hand, okay, so if you're left-handed, you can always do it with your other hand, it's fine. I will move this set square. So I can move it like that. Okay, you see my right hand is not moving. Only my left hand is moving. And I will draw another line here. So these two lines are parallel to each other. Okay, if I don't have a set square and I want to use my ruler, it's actually the same thing. So I will put my ruler at the perpendicular side. So I will do this. But I need to hold it tightly because as you can see, it is easier for my ruler to move. So I need to be even more careful if I'm using a ruler. I need to hold it extremely tightly before moving my set square. Okay, let's try another line. Let's say I have okay, so now I have this red line. I want to draw a line that is parallel to this red line. Okay, so just now I did it this way. Okay, now let's try the other way. So now let's try using the shorter side. Okay, if you can use this set square as well, it doesn't really matter because we're not looking at the length. Okay, so it doesn't matter that the set square is shorter than the line, it doesn't matter. Okay, same thing. I will look at the side that's perpendicular to this side of the set square, which is here. I will put my other set square here. Okay, then I can move this one up and down. So as you can see now, I'm using my other hand, right? I'm holding it in my left hand and I'm moving my right hand. So you can do whatever is more comfortable for you, as long as you make sure that only one hand is moving. Okay, now I will move this set square up here. Okay, and once I move it, I need to make sure I hold it tightly so that it is accurate. Okay, and if you're right-handed like me, okay, I can change to hold it with my left hand. Okay, but make sure that the set square doesn't move. And then I can take my pencil and draw it. So as you can see, I'm using a marker right now. This is because I'm trying to demonstrate and I want to make sure that you can see the line. Okay, but when you're drawing, you always use a pencil so that if you make any mistakes, you can erase. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, now I want a line parallel to this orange line. Okay, now let's try using the other set square, because some of you might have this one and some of you might have this one. Okay, so let's try using this one. So it's the same thing. On my set square, there are two sides that are perpendicular to each other, which are these two sides. Okay, so I'll put one of them on the line. Okay, so let's say I want to put it like that. Okay, it doesn't matter, I can do it like that as well. It doesn't matter. Okay, then I'll take my other set square. Okay, it'll be good to use a longer side, so either this side or this side. If I use this short side, I will only be able to move my set square for a very short distance. So it will be better if I can use a longer side. So I can use this side, and then I will take this set square and I'll move it. Okay, so it doesn't really matter where I move it. Okay, then I'll hold it with my left hand because I'm right-handed, and then I'll draw my line. So these two lines are parallel to each other. So let's say I'm given these two lines and I want to check if they are parallel. Okay, I will do the exact same thing. I will just put my set square on one, such that the line is on one of the sides. I will put another set square at the side to hold it in place, and then I will check. Okay, so I can check that they are parallel. Okay, in terms of terminology, so if this line is AB and this line is CD, and I want to write that these two lines are parallel, I will write AB. So this is the symbol for parallel. So I will draw two lines sideways. Okay? So if we look at the ones that we drew just now, okay, let's say this is W, X, Y, and Z. So I can write it as WX is parallel to Y and Z. Okay, let's say this one is E, F, and G, H. Then this would be the symbols for it, to indicate that two lines are parallel. So let's say, if I'm not going to check which lines are parallel, but the question wants to tell me that these lines are parallel, other than writing it this way, they can also write one more thing, which is they can draw arrows on the line. So if you see that these two lines both have arrows, it means that they make up a pair of parallel lines. Okay? So this one also, if I see both of them have one arrow each, it means that they are a pair of parallel lines.